Okay, to find the determinant of matrix A, we cross multiply up A times D. We cross multiply up the other diagonal, B times C, and then you subtract them. It has to be in that order. If you have it in the reverse order, you're going to get the sign wrong. So you have to cross multiply up, and whatever comes first, that's the one that gets positive. Whatever comes second when you multiply up, that's the one that subtracts. Okay? So 3 examples. Cross multiply up, that's 24. Minus cross multiply up, 10. What's my determinant? 14. Next one, cross multiply up, 4. Cross multiply up, 6. Subtract them, -2. Then we've got cross multiply up, -4. Cross multiply up, -12. Subtract them, which is going to change that into -4 plus 12, which is -8. You can do determinants on the calculator. You guys did you do some calculator stuff in yesterday's notes? I feel like you did, but I can't remember what it is right now. Anyway, you can find the determinant after you type in your matrix. Under this math is all the stuff that you can do. We're going to do this in a moment. You don't have to get it out of this, but you see this very first choice is determinant. So determinant must be pretty, because this is a very, so you could do it by hand. But in order for me to go type in an equation, or type in a 2x2 matrix, then go back and do the determinant of that 2x2 matrix, I could have just done it by hand. I will never do a 2x2 matrix in the calculator. Okay. Now if we have a 3x3, we can also do this by hand. In order to calculate the determinant of a 3x3, we still have to cross multiply up, and you have to hit every single number. So the problem is, when I cross multiply up this way, I only get 3 of the 9 numbers. So in order to cross multiply up here, you actually have to first, you have to copy over the first 2 columns. So I have to copy over 3, -2, 4, and then 2, 1, -3. So I'm going to go cross multiply up 3 times 1 times 3, which is 9. But we've got more numbers to cross multiply. So 4 times 4 times 2 is 32. And then I've got -3 times -2 times 2, which is 12. I'm going to find the sum of those 3. That's going to be like my first number that I had on a. Then we're going to subtract, and you have to go the other direction now. So 4 times 1 plus -3 times 4 times 3, 36. Plus 3 times -2 times 2, -12. So we are still doing like the first diagonal minus the second diagonal. We just have like multiple diagonals to add together first. So when I do the purple ones, I get 53. Subtract the red ones, I get -40. And then if I'm subtraction, yeah. Turn that into addition and I get 93. The determinant's not going to mean anything to you. We don't know why we'd use it. We're just going to find it. I don't know about you. It bothers me that I don't know why I'm using something, but it's okay. So same thing again. We've got a determinant with 3 by 3, so I need to copy the first 2 columns. And we cross multiply up. I get 60. What's my next product? 0. What's my next product? 0. Subtract. What's my next product? And then 0. And then 0. Sometimes it's easy. So this answer is 60. If you're not sure if you're doing the determinant right, you can check it using your calculator, but on an assessment we're going to have, you won't have a calculator for this kind of question. So make sure you are doing it by hand and then just checking on the calculator if you need to. The last page of notes, solving systems of equations using reduce row echelon form. And in parentheses, using graphing calculator. Yay! So you need your graphing calculator. We all just took a test on solving systems of equations. So how would you do this by hand without the graphing calculator? How will we do it without the graphing calculator? So I can't hear very well because my ears are filled with fluid. How would we do this by hand? Kia. You could do substitution or elimination. It's your choice. Since it's set up like this, I'd probably do elimination, but you could easily make it x equals here if you want to do substitution. We're going to practice by hand, and then I'm going to show you how to do it on the calculator using matrices. Okay? I'd have to multiply this one by -4. I solved for y, and I got 5/20 seconds. What do I do next? Isaac, what do I do next? Which one? You choose. The second one? Get x plus 25 over 22 equals 1, which I'm going to write as 22 over 22. Because I know the next thing I have to do is subtract 25 20 seconds. And what does x equal? -3 20 seconds. Those sound like terrible answers. How do I know I did it right? Let me check it. So if I plugged in 2, where do I check it? So 4 times -3 over 22 minus 2 times 5 over 22 has to equal -1. Be -12 22s minus 10 22s is -22 22s, which does equal -1. That checks. And finally, we write our answer as an ordered pair. So if you didn't bring your graphing calculator today, how are you going to do this one? Do you guys have an idea if you didn't bring your graphing calculator? Well, maybe you can try to figure stuff out as I do it. To do this with the graphing calculator, first of all, we're going to write the system as an augmented matrix. So this you did on Tuesday. Write the system as an augmented matrix. 4, -2, -1, 1, 5, 1. What goes after the -2, before the -1? After the 5, before the 1, what goes there? You can either do 3 dots, or you just make a line. The video that I sent you, the lady made a line. The book, if you looked in the book, they do 3 dots. Just different ways of doing it. I really don't care which way. So there's our augmented matrix. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to type it in our calculator. So to type this in the calculator, we need to know the dimensions. We need to know the order, which in my notes I put RC cola maybe in my notes, but I didn't have a video from the past that actually worked. My video from last year, I was like listening to it, or from 2 years ago I think. No, it was last year. I don't know. I was listening to it and there was no sound. My camera had a lot of problems last year. So that's why I didn't send you my video. That's why I sent you the one that I sent you. RC is like, when I was in high school, they told us to remember row by column, because it's like RC Cola, like the drink. RC Cola, rows by column. So if that helps you remember, here's rows by columns for the order. What's my rows by columns for this? 2 by 3. So to type that in our calculator, we're going to go to matrix. Second x to the -1. And you're going to arrow over to edit. And you're going to choose whatever one you want to choose, but you got to change it into a 2 by 3. 2, enter 3. Then you could look, it should look like the exact same dimensions that the one you've written on your paper. When you do show you work for these, because it is a graphing calculator question, you have to put the augmented matrix on your paper so I know what you typed in. So we type in this matrix, 4, -2, -1. Double check it, triple check it. And then we're going to go back to the calculation screen. Go back to the calculation screen. You just do second. Calculation screen. We're now going to go back to matrix. And you're going to arrow over to math. Now, paper, this says we have to use something called reduce row echelon form, which you look it up, there's videos about that. On your calculator, it's abbreviated RREF. Okay, so I arrowed over to math, and then I'm going to arrow down or up until you find RREF, which is B on my calculator. I think it's B on everybody's. So we're going to arrow down or up until you get to B, which is R, R, E, F. And you hit enter. You'll see that's on your calculation screen. And you're going to go back to matrix. And you're going to you just typed in matrix A, and you get to hit enter. Now, when we did this by hand, we got fractions. This is decimals, so I'm in math frac. Math fraction. Do you see there's some fractions in there that look familiar? There's some other stuff too. So I'm going to write this down and then explain to you. So they will give you an augmented matrix as the answer. We can take this augmented matrix and put it back into system form. So how we originally came up with the augmented matrix, you can take it back and put the letters back in. So if I make this back into system form, which variable is this one right here? X. And we have no Y's. And then this either line or dots, which is not even on our calculator, would mean equal sign. Negative 3 over 22. And then this y is 5 over 22. So that's how it's telling you the answers. Well, it tells you what the answer is. But you have to know this is not how we write. How do we write our solution? Ordered pair. Now that might have seemed like it took longer than. Let's actually do it for real without all the steps. You guys do it with me, maybe even ahead of me, for the next question. You know how much paper one of these takes up? You gotta eliminate the same variable twice, then you got your A and your B equation, you gotta eliminate the variable, then you gotta plug in A, then you gotta find the new one, you gotta plug in 1, then you gotta check in 2, and you gotta check in 3. Remember that? Let's do it with matrices. First, augmented matrix. Next, put in your calculator. Ooh, what is this? A 3 by 4. Double check, triple check you typed it in correctly. If you're doing a bunch of these in a row, you can just like go grab RREF matrix A. If you're doing a bunch of these in a row, it should be nearby. If you're not doing a bunch of them in a row, then follow the steps on how to set it up again. And then math frac, because it's fractions. Now I have my answer. Make sure that your answer is the same as my answer. It's an ordered triple. So if you need any help, like if yours didn't come up with the same answer, I'm going to come around and help you, but I'm going to stop the video before that. Your assignment is in the book. It is written on Canvas. There is a book link on Canvas. Most of these are odd. I have changed the directions for some of these, so you do need to read the directions. For this one, 1 to 9 odd, 17, 21, then 37, all the way through 41 says use the diagonal method, no calculator. So for those questions, no calculator. And then page 599, 1, 5, and 9, use the calculator for that part. So I believe this up here is the determinants, and then this down here is solving the systems. Okay, and then all the other stuff that we haven't checked, we're going to go through and like grade a bunch of that or hand in a bunch of that on Monday. So you get some time to catch up. I have some time to catch up, you know, all that fun stuff. So let me help you if you didn't get this answer, and otherwise you guys can go ahead and work on your assignment, and we have lunch.